Notre Dame wins this game 45-32 going away. All right. Couple things, couple box score things to point out that I think are, I don't know, are good things, are things worth talking about. Drew Pine, 24 of 34, 289 yards, 3 scores. Audric Estime, 17 carries, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. Could have had a third if he didn't fumble right there at the end of the game with about 3:20 left. Chris Tyree, 15 carries, 80 yards, a touchdown. Logan Diggs, 10 carries, 50 yards. Drew Pine carried it 6 times for 20 yards. Braden Lindsey had a carry for one carry for 7 yards. And there we go. Michael Mayer, big game for Big Mike. 7 receptions, 88 yards and a score. Lorenzo Styles, 5 receptions, 69 yards and a score. Logan Diggs, 3 receptions, 65 yards and a score. Jaden Thomas, 2 receptions, 24 yards. Chris Tyree, 4 receptions, 24 yards. Braden Lindsey, 2 receptions, 12 yards. Matt Salerno, 1 reception, 7 yards. Awesome day for the Notre Dame offense today. Awesome day. I think if you followed me throughout the game, which if you, my Twitter handle is right there on the screen, at Real B Belden. That last name is Belden. You know that one of the things that I've been talking about on Twitter, and like I say, if you're not following, please give me a follow over there. I'd really appreciate it. But one of the things I've been very vocal about on Twitter, if you follow me, is just the idea that Notre Dame's offense hasn't been nearly as good as what you would hope through 3 games, through the second edition of Tommy Rees post Brian Kelly, doing what he does, all of that type of stuff. And so, I think that, what I was calling for more or less was the fact that Notre Dame needs to throw the ball down the field to loosen the other teams. And today, obviously, it was North Carolina, to loosen the other team's defense at the very least. They need to get guys like Lorenzo Styles going. They need to get guys like Jaden Thomas going. I still want to see more Tobias Merriweather. We might talk about that quickly here in a few minutes. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think I saw Tobias Merriweather on the field for Notre Dame today. But Notre Dame needs to get the ball moving vertically down the field. There needs to be a vertical aspect to this team so that it opens up, it gets guys out of the box. It allows the run game to take over like it did today. It allows Michael Mayer to be open on some of those over the middle type of plays if you know that there are guys that can beat you on the top end of the defense. And Notre Dame, at the very least, needed to take some shots with the quarterback. I had some discussions with some people on Twitter, frankly, throughout the week about whether Drew Pine is capable of taking those shot plays. The bottom line is the quarterback, you saw it today, the quarterback taking some shots and throwing the ball down the field absolutely has a lot to do with why Notre Dame was able to run the ball today, why why Michael Mayer had a bigger day over the middle doing what he does. There was some stretch to this Notre Dame offense that you just hadn't seen from Notre Dame the first 3 weeks. For goodness sake, Notre Dame's first game against Ohio State, the only way they moved the ball was on a couple of big plays. Kind of a busted play where Lorenzo Styles got out of there and wriggled away for 50-some yards on the first play of the game. A big play to Matt Salerno. But Notre Dame needed to hit on some big plays. They needed to at least throw the ball down the field. I think there was a stat going around Twitter that when Irish receivers caught the ball against Cal, they were an average of less than a yard away from the line of scrimmage, which is just baffling to me. And I was very, very pleased to see Notre Dame move the ball down the field, take some shots. It got Estime going. Estime was tremendous throughout the day. After maybe a sluggish first quarter from the Notre Dame offense, I guess you could say. And the offensive line, no bad things to say about the offensive line at the moment. I mean, I think it was, again, started the game a little bit sluggish, but as things opened up for the offensive line and for Estime, you saw Notre Dame's offense do some really good stuff. Again, it's complementary football, and I think what I hope happened from today, what I hope Tommy Rees learned today was that complementary football can mean a couple of different things. It doesn't matter if you start on the ground that opens up the pass or you start with the pass that opens up the ground. It doesn't matter if you are, it doesn't matter where it starts, but Notre Dame needed to get something going. They needed to get some sort of explosiveness going, and finally they did. I think, towards the beginning of the first quarter, they were starting to move the ball a little bit. First play of the second quarter, if I'm not mistaken, they go out, they run a nice little, kind of a play action wheel route type of a play down the sideline, and hit on a big chunk play for about 40 yards. I think that might have been to Logan Diggs. And from there, Notre Dame really, really rolled. After getting down 7-0, the announcers made the point that Notre Dame rattled off a nice little 38-7 run to go up 38-14. I don't love how Notre Dame didn't close the way that I generally would like them to close this particular game. Gave up a score, gave up some big plays there to give up scores at the end to make this one look even a little closer than it was, but even though that was still not exactly close. But all in all, good things from the Notre Dame offense.